A black flag rises on the horizon. Your captain stops speaking. The merchant ship beside you goes silent, because everyone knows what that flag means. No negotiations, no mercy, no rescue coming. The year is 1717. The Caribbean does not belong to kings. It belongs to men who have already decided they would rather die than obey. They are not soldiers. They are not explorers. They are not patriots. They are pirates. And when they board your ship, they don't just steal your gold. They steal your future. Some cut down anyone who resists. Some offer a choice. Join us or sink with the ship. Either way, by sunset, your world is gone. At the height of the Golden Age of Piracy, entire empires feared a few thousand outlaws. Navies were deployed. Bounties were posted. Public executions were staged as warnings. But the hangings didn't stop them, because these men had already escaped something worse than death: control. This is the story of the most feared men in the Caribbean. After 1713, the world changed. The War of the Spanish Succession ended. Thousands of sailors were suddenly unemployed. Navies downsized. Privateers, legal pirates hired during wartime, were thrown away like tools no longer needed. Many of those men had spent years fighting, bleeding, and risking their lives for kings. Now they were paid nothing. So they turned their guns around. The Caribbean became the perfect storm. European empires were shipping silver from the Americas. Sugar plantations were exploding in value. Merchant routes were crowded and poorly defended. It was a floating treasure highway, and pirates knew it. But here's what most people get wrong. Pirates were not random savages drifting without purpose. Many of them were organized. They voted for their captains. They divided loot by agreed percentages. Some ships even had written codes, early forms of constitutions. On certain pirate ships, a crew member could receive compensation if he lost an arm or leg in battle. Compare that to most royal navies at the time, where you were whipped for disobedience and paid almost nothing. For some sailors, piracy wasn't chaos. It was freedom. One of the most feared names was Edward Teach, better known as Blackbeard. He lit slow-burning fuses in his beard before battle, so smoke surrounded his face. He didn't just attack ships. He created fear before he ever fired a cannon. Another name that terrified the seas was Charles Vane. Unpredictable, aggressive, and willing to fight even when escape was smarter. And then there was Bartholomew Roberts, Black Bart. In just a few years, he captured over 400 ships. 400. Not because he was reckless, because he was strategic. But piracy wasn't just violence. It was rebellion. The Caribbean colony of Nassau became a pirate stronghold. So lawless, it was called a Republic of Pirates. No king ruled there. No empire controlled it. For a brief moment, it was an outlaw experiment in total defiance. That terrified Europe more than the cannons did. Because if piracy worked, what stopped others from rejecting kings too? Empires responded the only way they knew how: force. Warships flooded the Caribbean. Royal pardons were offered to pirates who surrendered. And when that failed, hangings. Public executions lined harbor docks as warnings. Bodies were sometimes coated in tar and displayed in iron cages. A message to anyone thinking about raising the black flag. One by one, the legends fell. Blackbeard was hunted down and killed in 1718. Charles Vane was captured and hanged. Bartholomew Roberts died in battle in 1722. By the mid-1720s, The Golden Age of Piracy was collapsing. Not because pirates weren't dangerous, but because empires finally decided they were intolerable. And yet, the pirate myth survived. Why? Because pirates represent something uncomfortable. They were criminals. They were violent. But they were also men who refused hierarchy. They rejected class systems. On pirate ships, a poor sailor could vote against a captain. That idea was dangerous, even revolutionary. So when you hear the most feared men in the Caribbean, it wasn't just fear of swords. It was fear of what they represented. Chaos, freedom, defiance. And a world where power didn't automatically belong to a crown. The black flags are gone. The ships have rotted. But the symbol remains. Because somewhere deep down, people still understand the appeal of burning the rules and sailing towards something unknown.